Do you have an energy leak? There are certain people who have a very particular type of energy, a powerful energy that is full of manifestation force and power. And because of the type of energy that these people carry, they can find themselves more vulnerable to energy harvesting and energy vampirism. Hello, beautiful people. It is Oshun Kimmy, Mother of Mysteries. I am a medium and a channeler who receives psychic insight directly from my ancestral team about the mysteries of magic and the universe. And so please be sure to subscribe as well as turn on the notification bell. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into the topic that we have planned for today. And it's important to understand that when it comes to energy leeches, as in people who feed on other people's energy, they can do this either unintentionally because they may have entity attachments that are already feeding on their energy, which you being around them creates an open door between you and whatever entity is already feeding on that person's energy. And then it can be done intentionally in the cases of sorcery, where a sorcerer may decide to send a particular parasitic or vampiric spirit to you in order to purposely and intentionally drain the energy of your magic and of your destiny. And let us go ahead and speak our affirmations to affirm our magic and our destinies at this time. Please declare in the comments below, I am a master alchemist. I am attuned with my energy flow at all times. Ashe, so shall it be. So who we are around and the places that we frequent are very important in determining how to protect our energy from leeches. And so let's first talk about a few places that can expose us to energy vampires. And the number one place is going to be nightlife places, places that are open beyond midnight and or places that are directly designed for vices. So this includes things like bars because it's directly designed for people to drink into drunkenness. Essentially anywhere where there is a particular vice that is amplified. So this includes casinos as well because there's going to be drinking and gambling and most likely gluttony and overindulgence at casinos too. So any place where it is set up to cater to a particular vice, that type of place is going to be an energy harvesting space. Then on the other hand, spiritual places, even though it sounds contrary, perhaps, we think that if we go to church, we are safe. We think that perhaps if we are involved in certain spiritual houses and spiritual practices, we may be safe. But truthfully, in spiritual places where spirituality is expressed, you're more likely to run into spiritual practitioners as well. The idea is not to scare anyone from going to particular places. The idea is that we have to know how to protect our energy field when we are in those places, and we have to know how to properly cleanse ourselves once we leave from those places as well. And then the last place that I'm going to discuss, this is not a comprehensive list. There are many other places that could be included in this conversation. But the last place that I'm going to discuss for this video is going to be the workplace. Do you know how many times I am reading a client and working with them to resolve their spiritual situation, and they tell me that a lot of the sorcery and the witchcraft started at work for them. And so where we work can also be an energy harvesting place for us. And this could be intentionally, as in through sorcery, and the fact that there are sorcerers in the workplace, or this can even be unintentionally because when we work jobs that are not aligned with our destiny and that do not give us the proper opportunity to walk in our true spiritual design, then these places by nature are going to be soul draining. Now let's talk about potential people that could be behind energy harvesting or energy vampirism in our life, whether intentionally or unintentionally. And so the first group of people, of course, is going to be karmic family members. Oftentimes, when I'm working with clients, it's their own family. And I will look into their situation and then begin to understand, oh, there was a karmic contract in place between you and a particular family unit. And so then we work through how to resolve that karmic energy. And then karmic lovers. So you will notice the commonality between all of this is karmic. So when we are dealing with karmic lovers, they usually all have a particular type of energy that is actually not good for us. It actually does not fulfill our soul and our energy. It actually drains our energy. And in the cases of karmic lovers being behind energy leakages in your life, this is very usually because that karmic lover has an entity attachment, very usually something like a succubus or an incubus that is feeding on both your energy and their energy. So when you all come together, you all may be coming together under the union of a marine spirit, an incubus, or a succubus. And so then the last type of person that I'm going to discuss in terms of potential people that could be behind energy harvesting magic or destiny swapping magic in your life is going to be spiritual practitioners. And this is why we have to be very careful of who we go to do our spiritual work. If you all know my story, you all already know that it was my spiritual mentor that I was working with for 2 or 3 years who was behind 2 or 3 years of witchcraft against me, right? And so the best thing that we can do to protect ourselves from spiritual practitioners who turn out to be our spiritual enemies, we should not be letting just any and everybody read our energy. Once you find a good reader, stick with that reader. Once you find a good Reiki healer, stick with that healer. So you should not be jumping from reader to reader or healer to healer within very short periods of time, right? So some signs now that a person or a place may very well be draining your energy, pulling on the energy of your destiny, is that once you leave that person or that place, you feel scattered, ungrounded, and unfocused. And this could literally go on for days. So you have to begin to track, what does my energy feel like when it is healthy, it's whole, it's vibrant? And does that change when I go around certain people or certain places? Sign number 2 that a person could be draining your energy or pulling on the energy of your destiny is that once you connected with that person, your motivation for your own goals decreased and their prosperity, their energy, their glow increased. So you may notice you feel more drained, you look more drained, you have less energy for the things that you desire to achieve, but they seem to be flourishing. Just know that if this is the case, they are flourishing off of your energy. And this is why you feel drained and they are prospering. And so related to this is going to be sign number 3, which is that your energy, your confidence may heavily decrease. You may start to think more negatively about yourself. You may start to think more negatively about your life, where at one point you could have had so much faith in your dreams and your manifestations, but at some point you began to question your own ability to achieve your dreams and your desires. Understand that energy does not just disappear. If you once had an energy that you no longer have, that energy is going somewhere. So we have to be able to trace the cords and find out who's in our energy, what's draining it, and what we need to do to reconnect with our energy and our power. And so the best remedy for situations where you are feeling the energy of your destiny, your motivation, your magic being drained is solitude. To be able to recollect your energy and find the root of the leakage. We have to know how to sit with ourselves through meditation, through solitude, through silence, through fasting, and etc. If you need to know who or what is exactly draining your energy and also what you can do about it, this is where I highly recommend a one-on-one session with me or someone that you trust. And if you want to learn more of the spiritual tea around portals, around energy alchemy, around manifestation work, this is where I highly recommend you join us on the Patreon. There will be a link for readings in the Patreon in the comments below. Please also be on the lookout for the prayer book and the book of affirmations that will be dropping very soon. Until the next video, peace and blessings, everybody. Ashe.